eat the wedding ring. LeBron James, hello.
I don't talk about baseball a lot on this channel, but yeah, Red Sox, Rangers Suarez deal. Again, if you didn't know, he was a former pitcher for the Phillies. He's never thrown over 160 innings, and for baseball guys, that's like, again, for a starting pitcher, that's just like you at least need that. So they gave him $130 million for a guy that really, frankly, has never really been consistently great over an entire season. So like, I don't know. They're really doing nothing good for themselves right now, guys. Anyways, though, yeah, we have our power rankings. Every single team that's played in the playoffs or hasn't played just yet, but are playing this weekend, will be ranked. Again, if your team's already eliminated, I mean, I guess you want to watch this, but your team's a poverty franchise. Why aren't you in the playoffs, guys? Anyways, let's get this thing going. With that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe. Hope you guys are ready for the NFL Divisional Round Power Rankings. What the hell? No, I don't care about this. What are we doing? Like, legitimately, bro. Like, lock in. Anyways, though, back to this. Again, power rankings here for the divisional round. I think I told you guys last week for the wild card, but we will be ranking every single NFL team that again played in the wild card or the one in the 1 seeds basically. So 1 through 14 still alive. Again, is the next tier above because they're still playing football. We will be doing the final power rankings for the conference championship games. Where we'll rank these final 8 teams, really go in depth on how their season either went or could be going in. It's really stupid to go after that because the conference championship stuff. You'll get the point. We have some really fun videos. I have some very fun videos planned. Over the next coming weeks. Again, I'm really busy right now, so just keep that in mind. That's why we haven't seen, again, the hype video, which I was kind of mad I wasn't able to put out. But anyways, again, if you didn't watch last week's wildcard power rankings, I ranked every NFL team that didn't make the playoffs. Womp womp. So again, those teams don't change because they haven't played. Coaches did get fired though, which is interesting. But anyways, guys, for all intents and purposes, number 1 is, again, through 8 of the team's still alive. And you got 9 to 14. I'll be ranking them basically on their playoff performance or on their outlook. So let's get to the first team we're talking about, which is the Steelers, who are the worst team to lose in the playoffs. Not only did they get blown out by the biggest margin, 30-6, but Mike Tomlin is now gone, which will mean they will be searching for only their 4th coach since 1969 for the Steelers. Again, this Steelers team right now is not in a great spot. They're, again, a middling team for the past, what am I going to say, 10 years, you could argue. And even then, this team really hasn't, again, they haven't won a playoff game since 2017. It'll be a decade until they win their, again, next year, again, if they win a playoff game next year, it will be a decade since they last, won a playoff game. And also, again, I understand Mike Tomlin, 19 straight 500 seasons in his coaching career, tenure in Pittsburgh, absolutely phenomenal stat there. But at the same time, look at this Steelers team and the reality we saw with them against the Texans. It's just a team that really isn't, again, good enough. It's just that simple. Obviously, there's a lot of other things that play into how, again, the reason they got blown out by so much and were embarrassed. But again, that offense right now is just, you're not going to be, again, a successful team. And really, guys, I think that traces back to the fact that the Steelers team really hasn't had a bona fide, complete offense for really a couple of seasons now. I'm not going to, again, harp on the Rams a lot, but even the Rams, again, the past 2 seasons where, again, their offense is, like, I argue 2023 was their better offensive season, but the past 2 years, they really haven't been great on offense, but they've at least been more stable than what we've seen out of the Steelers. That's the reason we've seen at least some playoff success the last 2 years out of them. And obviously, this year, their offense is the best they've had in a really long time. So, not too surprised with that. But Steelers are, not really long time, in a minute. But Steelers are 14 here. Guys, they were the worst team in the playoffs. Again, I think in terms of performance this year, very disappointing loss to the Texans, but again, their outlook's not looking too hot. At number 13, I'm actually going to put the Chargers. Realistically, in terms of talent, they're not lower than the team we're going to get to in a minute. They did win 11 games, of course, but they just didn't show up in the wild card. Greg Roman's now gone as their offensive coordinator. Jim Harbaugh, really, again, you look at the past, 3 or 4, again, postseasons he's coached in the NFL. His teams just haven't gotten it done. Really looking to 2013, obviously, that year when they, again, lost Super Bowl, which can still playoff success. But the past 2 seasons, guys, this Chargers team, especially Justin Herbert, again, the offense has just been absolutely horrible. Herbert, again, until he wins a playoff game, or not even that, until he wins a freaking Super Bowl, we'll get the Matt Stafford before he won the Super Bowl comparisons. Because, like, let's be honest, Justin Herbert has been flat out atrocious in the playoffs of the most part. Again, defensively, they still look really solid. This defense, really outside of a couple moments in 2023, has been a very solid group for years now. I'm just, again, this Chargers offense has a lot of work to do. And again, especially with what we saw in, again, Foxborough for Patriots defense, that obviously is pretty good, but isn't, like, anywhere near elite. So it was just very disturbing watching that game. That that Sunday night, and it was frustrating to watch. Again, you guys obviously had a pattern here. The two teams that, again, didn't really show up in their playoff games are they're 13 and 14. 12, we have the Panthers, who played their hearts out against the Rams, nearly pulling off the upset, and I would not be in the same mood I would be in if that would have happened. But Bryce Young, Panthers offense, again, just kind of like ran out of steam there on that last drive. But at the same time, you look at this team, they went toe-to-toe with the Rams. Again, they already beat them back in Week 13, so the fact, again, they were able to play that well against them was pretty crazy. A lot of reasons they should have won it, and a lot of reasons they actually probably shouldn't have even been that close because they didn't show up for the first quarter. So just keep that in mind there. But Panthers, in spite of their issues, still made that a really good game, and they arguably should have won it. Again, Panthers fans right now, you should be pretty happy with their even though, again, you won a division with a losing record. Still, they performed well in the playoffs at this. Again, we'll see if they can next year actually get over the hump and win a playoff game, which would be pretty cool. But against the Panthers, in terms of how their season went, again, definitely a mixed bag, but a lot more progress than the 2 seasons we've seen prior, where, again, they just completely bottomed out. And really, they've been irrelevant since 2017, so really good season, I guess. Number 11, I think I'm going to go to the... I'm going to see the Packers. I understand this Packers team really didn't have... Again, they probably had one of the better performances of the losing teams in the wild card, and obviously, talent-wise, they should be higher than this, but again, you could argue they could even be lower. The thing about them is they blew a 21-3 lead. And again, you think a playoff game, the fact you were even up 21-3 kind of tells you that you're not going to just go up 21-3 if you're a crappy team. It's just not going to happen. But the fact they blew that lead, and Matt LaFleur obviously has his history with the Falcons, kind of just gives me, again, the bad vibes there. But still, despite them losing their last 5 games, they should have won in Chicago twice. I mean, guys, this team, again, very frustrating season for Packers fans. I will say, though, Jordan Love, I think this postseason, more than any other postseason, proved that he is the guy. I understand he's only won one playoff game in his 3 years as the starter. 2023, he was very good. Obviously, the interception at the end of the game, really his only playoff moment where he really struggled. Or not really struggled, just didn't come up to the moment. 2 years ago, against the Eagles, he sucked. I'll be fair there. He was bad against the Super Bowl champion Eagles. But again, they were the Super Bowl champion Eagles. Even then, he didn't play that bad. And then this year, he did come up to the moment. He threw 4 touchdowns. Again, you can't blame that game on them. They should have won. Freaking Brandon McManus missed. If he would have made 2 of those kicks, they would have won the game. I mean, I don't know really what else to tell you guys. Like, come on, bro. But number 10, we have the second best team to lose, I guess is what we're going to call this. I think we're going to go with Philly, if I'm not mistaken. Who else lost here? Yeah. Philly's at number 10. Very disappointing loss to the Niners. There's really no other way to put it. Again, you just won the Super Bowl. Getting first round is never a good thing. I mean, better than the Rams in 2022 when they went 5-12. Fired Kevin Patullo, or just removed him. Who really knows? A lot of the issues with the offense we saw with Brian Johnson back in 2023. Speaking of that, Brian Johnson, where is he at right now? NFL. Commanders. News. All right, but for the Eagles, again, all their focus should this offseason should be on finding a new offensive coordinator because, again, when they had Kellen Moore and who the heck was their offensive coordinator in 2022? It's just not coming. Eagles OC 2022. Shane Steichen. Sorry, guys. But when they had those two guys, competent offensive coordinators, now head coaches in the NFL. Again, obviously Steichen's had his issues, but Kellen Moore at least looked pretty good in his first season. They have had one of the better offenses in football and obviously one of the better run games overall in football as well. Jalen Hurts' best passing year was with Steichen in 2022. So just keep that in mind there. Despite, again, when they've had bad offensive coordinators, which is, again, like every other year, again, as their past 4 seasons have gone, they haven't won a playoff game. The other 2 years, they went to the freaking Super Bowl again. Unfortunate in 2022, but still. Eagles are at 10. They have a very good defense, very talented team. A lot of the question marks will be who they re-sign. We'll get more into that. Again, we get to one team thing. Every NFL team needs to do this offseason in February. But Eagles, despite this disappointing loss, again, there's definitely a lot of things that should be good for y'all. Again, you just won the Super Bowl last year, too, again. Don't get too crazy. Jags are at 9. Should have beat the Bills. Trevor Lawrence just again kind of just fell apart. I don't say fall apart, but again, he just came short there at the end. Defensively, a lot of the things I saw against the Bills were promising, but at the same time, again, you can't be giving up that play. Brandon Cooks, despite that being, again, a perfect play call defensively. Just that simple. At the same time, though, offensively, they, again, have some holes and some issues that I think will be addressed this offseason. But, again, Jags overall continues to win 4-13 last year, and you flip your record, nearly knock off a Bills team that is considered to be the best or the biggest threat in the AFC. That was a monster, or not a monster, just an insane season for them. So, again, despite, again, how it ended, I wouldn't be too mad. Now we get into our official power rankings where I'm going to rank the top 8 teams still alive in the playoffs. Number 8, I think the least likely team to win a playoff game. What are we really thinking right now? This is kind of tough. I really want to say the Bears, and I think I'm going to go with the Bears here. Guys, the Bears are a tough team to really conceptualize because of the fact that they kind of, not every week, but most weeks pull something out of their arse and figure out a way to win. There's most of these other teams can do just that as well, but I mean, there's something to be said for what they did against the Packers. I mean, again, I'd be shocked if it happens again, but who really knows? I'd be lying to say that I'm not worried that could happen against the Rams. But considering that this Bears offense is just not efficient, there's no other way to put it. Unless they run the ball like they did against Cincinnati, or the defense gets like 8 takeaways, there's really no way that they're going to be able to compete with the Rams. It's just that simple. Or not, it isn't just that simple. There's some areas of their game that just isn't going to work. It's, it's just that simple. But I mean, it could be. On top of that, though, again, Caleb Williams can't hit the broadside of a barn. I said that like over a month now. It's on tape. It's egregiously bad. On top of all that, their defense just isn't good. I mean, it's not saying they have a bunch of scrubs on there, but they kind of do. Their secondary, though, is underrated. I don't think A'Shaun Wright's really that great of a corner because in man coverage, he just gives way too much separation consistently, and he's not good in zone. But he gets a lot of takeaways. That's what this defense's calling card is, and really this team's is in general. So if they get those against the Rams, who really knows what's happened? They're in Chicago. Should be interesting to watch, but this team overall just doesn't really feel as a team. Again, a little bit of a fluke there. Number 7, though, again, this is kind of tough because like all these teams are very close. I think I'm gonna go with the 1 seeds. Yeah, I think I might have to. I'm gonna throw the Patriots. Patriots, despite me thinking they actually have a really, really good chance of knocking off one of the best defense in the league on Sunday. This team offensively struggled, and I mean struggled against the Chargers. It wasn't exactly about moving the ball because. Yeah, Drake May made his throws. Again, his nerves were definitely up in this one. He fumbled, 3 times, something like that. But a lot of the issues for him came from the fact that when he saw an open receiver, he just didn't really pull the trigger. I mean, again, he did make his throws here and there, but I mean, it wasn't a consistent game from Drake May in this one. Defensively, they obviously showed out, so it really didn't matter. But you can't have that happening against the Texans. They have better players than the Patriots. It is just that simple. But they're going to be at 7 because, I mean, I don't really know what else to tell you guys. Like, it's just, they didn't look great. 6, I have the Texans. Offensively, it's just like, what's the score going to be sort of thing. Defensively, again, they're the best in football. Again, there's no other way to put it. They're just that good. But it will be interesting to see what C.J. Stroud ends up playing like in this game because you have Christian Gonzalez on the outside of Nico Collins, a guy that I think will shut him down very, very, not easily, but it'll happen. So that's why I have the Texans at 6. Again, they're red hot right now. They've won, 10 straight. They just blew the doors off the Steelers. There's something to be said for that, but I need to see this offense put together a complete game to really think that they can, again, end up going all the way. But there, had the opportunity to win their first. Again, they just won their first ever road playoff game. Again, they have a chance, if they are able to do that again, to get their first conference championship in team history. Again, the only NFL team to ever to not have done that. Again, newest team too, so don't get too mad about that. But still, they're gonna be at 6. 5. Right outside. Again, this isn't really a prediction thing. I'm gonna probably put the Seahawks. The problem with me with the Seahawks is just Sam Darnold hasn't proved himself in the playoffs. Huge win. Again, we look back to Week 18 with their game against the Niners. Their defense dominated a defense that I think is a little bit overrated because they gave up 581 yards to the Rams on Thursday night a couple weeks ago. But again, they're home for this playoff game. They have no excuse for losing this one to the Niners. The Niners are beat to hell. They don't have a defense. Sam Darnold better to light them up. Again, they should be able to run the ball pretty well. Seahawks, though, again, at the end of the day, just win the damn game. You were the 1 seed for a reason. You won 14 games. You beat the Niners and Rams to get to this game. I'm not going to try to motivate you guys because I really like if you guys lost that game. But for the Saturday night, should be a banger. 4, I'm going to say the Niners. Again, they're so banged up. But you guys saw how well that offense was played against an Eagles defense that was not really giving them a lot. I will say Trent Williams back was the main reason that offense was really able to, completely get what they needed out of Brock Purdy in that game. But at the same time, you guys saw George Kittle. He's gone. Jake Tanya's, again, he had the game-winning touchdown against Seattle way back in Week 1. But I don't think anyone would say that he's even close. We'll give you even close to the same value there. But again, I'm just going to say the Niners are here for. I really like where they're at. Again, every year they've made the playoffs since 2000. They've made the NFC Championship. Again, something to be said for that, but they're going to be at 4 for me. 3, I'll say Denver. Denver's a weird team for me going into the playoffs right now. Because, yes, they had the bye week, but, they didn't really seem too serious against the Chargers a couple weeks ago. And just, again, the fact that they rely so heavily on that defense to consistently make big plays, which, I'm sorry, guys, as good as it, best, again, you look back to 85 Bears. Even them, you can't rely on the defense to just make big play after big play after big play. Because at some point, I won't say they're going to come up short, but they're just not going to make a big play. and then you're putting your defense in a really tough spot in that instance. And again, offensively, despite them being nails in the fourth quarter and being I wouldn't say prolific, but they score some points. But it's like, again, there's no real functionality to the offense because they have a receiver and Cortland Sutton, who is their number one, but really doesn't give you that sort of, again, dependency. And then a running game that kind of is all over the place. So it's kind of hard for you to picture this Broncos team putting up a good enough offensive performance if Josh Allen goes off for them to really match. That's why they're at 3. But again, they deserve to be at 3 though because they went on an 11-game winning streak. They're capable of winning a lot of games against really good teams. They're going to be at 3, and they're also the 1 seed. 2. I'm joking. We got the Bills. They played like the Bills that have the potential to actually go all the way this year. Jacksonville was a really tough place to play this year. If I'm not mistaken, they lost, what was it, 2 games there? 1 game, something like that. But yeah, Bills, it wasn't a pretty win. Josh Allen, though, he made the insane throws. If he's on, they're going to win the game. I think that's, again, you could definitely say that. Defensively, though, they need to be more consistent in the first half. That's really the big thing with them. But again, I really like where they're going. It'll be interesting to see how James Cook, again, adjusts there to Denver to open up the divisional round. Now, our last team, the number 1 team that I have, again, after the wild card is the Rams. I understand they barely beat the Panthers. I was very, very concerned in that one. But you guys saw, I want to call Matthew Stafford a completely clutch quarterback. But in those instances, that is why you have Matthew Stafford at quarterback. Again, he played like an MVP all season. He might not win it, which is crazy. But he played like that in this wild card. I really hope he doesn't need to this week. I hope we run the ball down the Bears' throats and blow them out by 40. That's not going to happen, though. I would think this defense is going to have to show out like they did at points last week. Again, very, very crucial, though, for that running game to get going versus the Bears. That's all I have for you guys here, though. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed these power rankings. Again, top for all the playoff teams getting power ranked. But again, we'll be I'll give you guys my predictions on Friday for the, again, divisional round games. We have 4 of them, obviously, and then, again, we'll go along with the week, again, the next week, and then, obviously, Super Bowl week will be pretty fun as well. Again, we're getting really close to it, guys, but, again, divisional round playoffs, crazy things about to happen. Hope you guys enjoyed the wild card, though, and I'll see you all on Friday for the predictions for the division.
On the jet sweep, what a hit! Oh, he brought some smoke! And he's on fire! Touchdown, Kansas! Kobe Bryant! That's the Mamba mentality right here. Kobe Bryant read this from the get-go. He saw it coming all